Good morning, everyone. Welcome to GC 365. My name is Ben. I'm the worship pastor at Lake Stevens.
Yep, and I'm Alex. I'm the worship pastor at Woodinville.
Yes, I think you forgot for a second there. Were you? Where am I? So today we're talking about day 291 in the Bible reading plan. We're in Jeremiah, kind of towards the end. A lot's been happening.
Yeah.
A lot of bad news has been happening, but then I'm glad that I got to the part where some hope is brought into the story here. God's letting Israel know that he's going to be changing things pretty soon. That's not just going to be doom and gloom for them.
Yeah.
He brings up a new covenant right at the top there, right? That says that the old one wasn't working because Israel kept breaking that covenant, right? Like they kept. God goes, okay, this is kind of a two-way street right now. He's like, well, I'm trustworthy, so let me make this covenant where I'm the one that's it's relying on, right?
Yeah,
so
sure.
God knows that his character is not going to be compromised.
Yep.
So a new one's going to be brought in, a new covenant, and this one says it's going to put his law into our hearts and minds, which is cool. So rather than it being something physical like the Ten Commandments,
Stone.
right? Yeah. There's always been something like physical that the Israelites have had to do or make to see God, but now everything's going to be inward, and we're going to have God in us. AKA Jesus now, which is awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
And everyone's going to have a relationship with God too.
Yeah.
So it's not just going to be, come and repent of your sin and sacrifice. We actually can have this one-on-one relationship, which is really cool. And that was so new to them because they honored God, but it was just a different dynamic. Now God is our Father and, Jesus is our friend, which is so cool. And he was just telling them that things are going to change. They're going to be like that now. And then he promises that Israel will be rebuilt. Because he tells them, right, it's just going to be, everything's going to be completely gone, guys.
You're going to rebuild, though.
Burn the city and then burn the ashes.
Yep.
It's going to be crazy. Then we jump into Jeremiah 32, the next chapter. What happens in there, right? Something happens at the very beginning that God wants him to do.
Yeah, so God tells Jeremiah to buy land and to save the deed and hide it. So again, like you just said, God's telling him, hey, I'm going to destroy every single thing that's going on, but you need to buy some land, hold on to it, so that way when we're rebuilding it, you can go back and claim that land.
Right.
And I love that. And I love, there's a cry out of Jeremiah that says, hey, God, there's nothing that's too hard for you. He's just I know you're going to make this work out. You've shown us 1,000 times that we have punishment and the sins of blah, blah, blah of our children, but great and mighty are you, the name of the Lord Almighty. And just saying, God, I'm going to do what you told me to do. And I'm going to trust that you're going to build it because we're definitely not, doing a good thing now. But in the end, you're going to rebuild Jerusalem, and it's going to be hopefully better than before.
Right. Yeah, and I love that part of the story. There's always a little bit of comedy in the Bible too, and it's just funny that Jeremiah is making this deal and he's buying the land while he's stuck in a courtyard because there's a king that's upset that he said, you're going to be destroyed, along with Israel. He's like, what? I'm going to keep you in my courtyard. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to buy some land. And he's probably like, what is this guy doing? He's prophesying that I'm going to die. And then he's also buying land that's going to be taken over. Nothing makes sense to him probably at that point.
Probably very bold. You know what I mean? He's sitting in this courtyard and he's like, I'm going to kill you, dude. And he's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go buy land. What? Yeah, like you said, the king's probably like, what the heck are you doing, dude? Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah, it's cool when you God's made you to do something, the confidence that it gives you that other people may not understand, but. And then we jump into 1 Timothy. I like this part. It's just a good reminder of leadership. Paul goes through just kind of a list of requirements that's for deacons in the church. We don't really use that wording or deacon as much, but for us as worship pastors and stuff, it's just it's good to know, right? One of the verses says he must manage his own family well and see that his children obey him, and he must do so in a manner worthy of full respect. If anyone does not know how to manage his own family, how can he take care of God's church?
Yeah, for sure. And I love that because we're about to be family men.
Yes, baby's on the way.
So it's definitely a good thing to us. As we go do this, yes, we may be good leaders at our church now, but we have to lead our family.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have to lead our wives and our children, and that's super important. And I think that it's sad to see a lot of pastors in the church kind of get so caught up in the church and in the the business side of the church, and they their families and neglect their families. But our families are so important.
Right.
The physical church, Woodinville, Gold Creek. Mm-hmm. God forbid anything ever happens, but we might not be here forever, but my family is my family.
Right. They will be here forever. Yeah. And God knows that. I mean, our faith is built on family. God made us his family because he knows that that tie is the most important thing we can have.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Okay, and the last thing I want to bring up is just we were talking about this before, but Psalm 88 is written by a guy named He-Man. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it, and maybe Haman or something, but He-Man is definitely way better, I think. And so I did a little research, and it looks like He-Man was actually Samuel the prophet's grandson, which I thought was kind of a weird little fact. But and this is written in probably like the darkest part of his life. Like it's really. It doesn't even end well, right? It's just like it actually ends with he wrote Sound of Silence too. I'm pretty sure he wrote that song because it ends with him saying, "Darkness is my friend." Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
so yeah, it's a kind of a there's a little bit of doom and gloom still. Apparently, we're just in the Bible reading. We go, okay, well, there's a little bit of hope in Jeremiah. So with his story, so let's bring it right back down into Psalm. So do you have anything to say about that or?
No, I think it's funny. I think the proverb, I was reading it again off your notes too, like of today, like rejoicing, like don't rejoice around those people who are sad.
Right.
It's really important. Like I think it's funny because like the Bible does tell us a lot of times, like, hey, like find suffering in the midst of joy, or find joy in the midst of suffering. Sorry, you know what I mean? And like rejoice in times of when you are sad. Like maybe when you're sad, you should rejoice and find the things that are good.
Yeah.
But like if you're sad, I shouldn't walk in and be like, hey Ben, what's up, man? Like I'm in such a good mood today.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucks to be you today. Like no, like and also the Bible also tells us like rejoice with those who need to be rejoiced with, mourn with those who are mourning.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. Like we should kind of that's a way to get on people's level, and especially of leaders in the church and Christians and the people who aren't Christians. Like we can kind of empathize with them and walk alongside them. And I love this other last part that says like be good to your enemies, and it's like you're pouring hot coals on their head.
Yeah.
Like it's so easy to just like hate someone, wrong you, or be mad at them, or have enemies and slander them and gossip about them and tell them off. But it's like it's that whole like kill them with kindness thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
So like cheesy to say, but it's so good and so true. Like if we have these enemies and we can love them and show them like goodness, they're gonna feel dumb. Like that feeling that you're gonna get, because like I almost feel like when people are wronging you like that, I don't know, that butting head, that fighting is almost it's feeding into the fire.
Yeah.
Where like it's not gonna do anything. So I just like that it says like being good to your enemies is like pouring coals on their head.
For sure. Yeah. And I feel like it does something for you too. Like it's a lot of what God has us do that's written in the Bible is like counter what we want to do, right? Like tithing, even like giving portions of ourselves up, and it just gives us self-discipline, and it gives us strength. It's not just because God wants to give us rules, but it's like, wow, you realize that there is nothing mastering me. Only God is my master. So to be able to say, no, I'm not going to be mean to this person. I'm going to be nice instead. That's like actually a control thing. It shows that you're actually in charge of yourself. So
it's super hard, but like it's definitely pays off way more in the end. So
for sure.
Love it.
Well, good stuff, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys later.
Bye.